right now I'm going to do a drawing of this Rose of Jericho plant opening up. I forgot to make a video yesterday, but this is what it looked like yesterday. Can you see this? Oh. Light. Light, there you go. This was, as it was just opening up from its dried form, it kept moving actually in the 20 or 30 minutes that I was working on it. So, it's still opening up. It's like, now it's 12 hours later, and I want to do a second drawing, so I should turn on the camera and we can draw this together. I'm wondering if you prefer videos where you look mostly at me while I talk or draw, or if it's helpful to have the camera on the page and the thing that's being drawn, if I can manage it. So, I'm going to try moving the camera here so that you can see what's being drawn. There is a plant. Oh, yeah, I should give you let you see the plant. This is what it looks like about 12 hours in. And I'm going to sketch the plant and the shadows on my sketchbook here. Also, I haven't been greeting or introducing myself in the videos because I don't know what name to use. Alright, so this is the last page of my sketchbook. And the materials I'm using today are what I used for yesterday's drawing too. Ballpoint pen to start with. I just had used one from the, the ones they give out at restaurants. I use a little bit of gel pen to patch up dark spots. There's the white gel pen in case I need highlights. I didn't use that yesterday. And then I have a bag of color pencils. So, pencil sharpener in case I need that. And for this one I think I used 5 or 6 colors. Purples. There's like a dark purple, kind of maroonish, orange, yellow, blue with the teal, and the shadows here are kind of made with the green, this kind of green, teal, and the purple, mostly. And then I'll use a little white to go over it. So, 3 minutes in. Okay, let's see how far we can get. I might need to cut a little bit at some point. So, to start the drawing, I'm just gonna look at my subject and kind of just drafting the form. So, okay, no ink is coming out, but still good to just move your hand in very lightly and kind of trace the form of it where it would appear on the paper. I was doing that even though there was no ink. That's fine too, because it kind of gets your hand used to the idea of where it will be dancing on the page, as you would say, dancing on the page later. And I sort of started near the middle because that's where I see the dark part, the darkest part, the hub of where the leaves are unfurling from. And then I'm tracing, just like touching a little bit where the leaves come up. The leaves are curling up here, the edges of them, just touching a little bit, and that creates a guide for where they are later. And I see the shadow. That's a nice shadow. But I'm not gonna do that with a pen because I don't see hard edges there. With the pen, I'm probably gonna. My eyes looking at that, it looks kind of like bluish purple. So I wanted to block out a little bit of where that shadow is. I actually don't even know if it can fit on this page here. Maybe I can minimize my drawing a little bit. Green. this kind of green. I see green in this plant here now. So putting some green on can help anchor the shape, and the green is also pretty, it's like grayish light, so it won't be too distracting. I don't know if you want, I guess I'm thinking now maybe I'd put on some yellow too, because the yellow helps my eye see the shape of these leaves. Wow, this is a very complex plant form. I mean, all plants are, but you can still see the balls of the leaves here. Some of them are still curled up. Some of them are half open. Lots of little lines. So I'm gonna have to summarize that somehow in the drawing. So let's see. The general structure of this flower plant, the Rose of Jericho, is it's like the bowl it's in. There's a sort of saucery part, like that. It's got a saucer and it comes up with frills around the edges. So keeping that in mind, and kind of the way you're drawing the leaves here, sort of remember that the movement of the leaves is unfurling from the center, and your motions in drawing it are also like imitating it, you know, becoming like the leaf and echoing it, like impersonations, but on tracing its shadows and movements on paper. So let's see, 7 heads. Okay, let's just draw for another minute, and then we take a break. I'll cut and cut back to where I make progress. Yesterday I actually did more in pen first, but I just don't see that many dark lines here right now. The way that the form is right now, I see more light structures, light shapes, and well, okay, now I'm starting to, my hand started doing this before I thought of it logically, so those scribbling exercises are really good for loosening up your hand to things like that, so you can be reacting with the translation process before you cognize that you should. And if you practice that, you can really allow your drawing process to speak to you. Okay, looks like what I'm doing now is starting to draw the curls, the parts where the curls, the like the fingertips of the plants, I'll say, seem to be jumping out at me. If it's something my eye can see and land on and identify the shapes of. So if I can start putting those down on paper, that also clarifies the form to me, and I can fill in the green parts, the midway, that's the arms of the plants, later. Alright, so I'm gonna pause the video while I do that. Is that a good idea? Because I'm not sure if you prefer the shorter videos or the longer videos. That's something you can, I'd like some feedback about. You know, what do you prefer as a audience? You can also be drawing with me, of course, or working on your own projects. But that could really help me structure future videos. Just keep in mind, Unless you want me to keep going with the flow. All right. So where I'm at right now with the rose, which is also constantly opening in slow motion, so it keeps changing as I'm trying to draw it. The curves are changing. It's literally doing this in very slow motion. So I'm drawing a form that's like this, and then a few minutes later it's like this, and then a few minutes later, so I'm working around the page, but as I'm going back to another spot to clarify it, it's different, which is okay. I think it's good. It's natural and it's beautiful to depict motion and transformation in your drawings. Drawings, I think there's a misconception that they're depictions of a still moment, a snapshot, of a millisecond or something. But they can also be videos and show trails. So sometimes I'll draw a leaf. It's kind of also up to me if I want to draw over it with where it's at now, or another form. And it's hard for me to tell, to say what to pick up because I'm moving through my mediums as I see fit for the moment. So I'm shifting between the pen and the white crayon, the gel pen, or the color pencils, intuitively, and there's no real set formula for that. And that's also in response and in conversation to the rose itself, to the subject, which is shifting and revealing by moment what it looks like and what is the focal point. Okay, so this part here, I'm what to do this, I'm trying to at the moment I feel like I've put down a lot of color where I see the color in the forms, but there's very little clarity, like sharpness, aside from where the pen marks I made a little earlier delineate where some of the leaf curls are. I find that what I'm doing right now, like with the shadows, I'm taking a color pencil to a slightly darker one, like a gray, mid-gray, to carve out some forms, like these little antler-like forms of some of the color splotches areas. That's something you could do to carve out the forms just a little further. All right, so the sun has gone down and I've been drawing, kind of sketching at this for about an hour, on and off. I took a lunch break, and well, if you've been watching the video sequence, I'll splice it in later, but as I'm drawing the little tendrils of the leaves, I actually don't exactly know what I'm doing. If you could see, what I'm drawing on my paper is not matching up exactly with what's in front of me. The spacing, I might be putting down marks somewhere where there might not be anything there, but I just mean that, and I think in almost every video I've talked about this or said this so far, that it doesn't have to look like, your image doesn't have to look like the thing you're drawing. It's just the evidence of your observation of it. You know, and yeah, the dynamism, the dynamic motion of the experience of sitting with it, or what it is in its moving, living version of itself. So this drawing of it's already gone through a lot of shifts since I started. Beyond the unfurling of the leaves and the changing of shape, the light has also shifted, and now there is no harsh light, and the sharp shadows of this bottom part are gone. So I'm not gonna be, I'm adjusting it just a little bit right now. Sometimes you can add some invention in there, but yeah. So I'll let that part be what it is, you know? Let that be itself. And then some of this I'm also just letting it be itself. And the combination of what it is, how it expressed itself, how I witnessed and observed it in those moments, layered with other moments in time, and my invention maybe of something else, something either of my mind or my physicality that I saw added in there. I wonder if I should expand on my vocabulary so I could articulate that better, but maybe it's an understanding beyond words. So I might stop soon. I think maybe we've been here long enough, and I've caught the essence of this part, this moment I've shared with this being in this point in time, and I don't want to recreate it, and I also don't need to overwork it, and I like it the way it is, so let's call it a day. Let's finish it up here.